So some of you may be familiar that Federal Way School District is a standards-based grading. Sometimes we call that standards-based grading, or SBG, and that looks a little different than some other places where we do standards-based grading. So what I'm going to show you here is kind of an outline for how grades are calculated. Every class has an overall grade, and that's usually what you see on report cards and what you would see in the grade book, whatnot. But how does that overall grade get calculated? So in our grade book, there are what we call priority standards. And these are what makes up the core content of learning in the class. And so here I've showed you one priority standard, there's another priority standard, and third priority standard. Some classes have a lot and some classes have fewer. For this I'm just using 3 priority standards. Now each priority standard has a grade of its own. So when you take a test or a quiz, there might be something that you're focusing on, and the grade will go in here. And when we go to calculate your overall grade, we take the average of these grades, and that becomes your overall grade. Well, if we're taking a quiz, or a test, and we assess something from Priority Standard 1 and Priority Standard 3, part of your grade from that quiz is going to go into Priority Standard 1, and part of your quiz is going to go into Priority Standard 3, and you're going to get a grade. So you've got grade 1 from there. Maybe you take a test and you get, here, let's show that as a quiz versus a test, sorry. Maybe you take a test and that test gets broken down in a different way. So we've got quiz and we've got a test. And let's say on your quiz you get a 3 and on the test you get a 4. Well, those get averaged into the priority standard grade for each priority standard. And so maybe you'll have a project and a test, and maybe you have a quiz, a project, and a test here. So let's give you a couple of scenarios. So let's pretend for a moment that we're working in this world here. So priority standard 1, you get a 3 in a test, a 4. The average of 3 and 4 ends up being a 3.5. Okay, and then for priority standard 2, let's say you get a 2 and a 4. The average of those is a 3, so those take the average, those become a 3. And then the quiz, let's say you get 2, 3, and 4. Those average 2 plus 3 plus 4 divided by the 3 numbers that you have is 3. And so your overall grade for this class is 3 plus 3 plus 3.5, so we would calculate that 3 plus 3 plus 3.5, and then we divide that by the number of total grades we have, which is 3. So that ends up being 9.5 divided by 3, which ends up being approximately 3.16. And that 6 is a repeating 6. So this is what ends up going into your overall grade. And 3.16 is approximately a B. So if we're looking at overall grades, if we want to know what an A, a B, a C, and a D are, an A is when your overall grade is between 3.5 and 4. A B is from 3.0 to 3.49, because that's where A ends. A C would be from 2.5 to 2.9, 2.5 to 2.99, that's where 2 ends, and then an F is anything from 0 to 2.49, and that's just how the grades work. And so your overall grade in a class would be an A, a B, or C, or a D based on your overall grade. I hope this video was informative and helpful for you to know how priority standards work and how grades are calculated. Just for some information, this was recorded on October 2nd, 2017. It may have changed by the time you see this video, but just know that October 2nd, 2017, for the 17-18 school year, this is how the priority standards will work.